He accused me of infidelity and stormed out, but the test results turned him white as a sheet. As the title says, me and my so just had our first baby. We were over the moon when we discovered the pregnancy, and we were both really excited to have a child together. We wanted, to get married next year, and everything was going great. We were happy. We both look very white, pale skin, blue eyes, brown and blonde hair. However, my great-great-grandpa was black, and some of his features have popped up here and there in our family: kinky hair, darker skin, more black-looking facial characteristics. My so knows this and has seen some of my aunts/uncles and cousins who have these features. I, however, don't have any myself, and neither does my mom. Our daughter was born 5 days ago, and I guess she just got all the dormant genes in me, because she's really dark skinned compared to us with really curly hair. I think she's adorable, but my so flipped. He accused me of cheating, that the baby couldn't possibly be his. I've never given him a reason to suspect me of infidelity, and I've certainly never cheated. We argued about it. I pointed at all my cousins and other relatives who have black features, but he absolutely refused to listen, said our daughter looked too black for that to be a plausible explanation. He stormed out of the hospital, sent me a text an hour later that we were over, and when I got home from the hospital the next day he wasn't there and most of his personal belongings gone. I tried to reach him, but he didn't answer my calls or texts until 3 days later, when he told me he demanded a paternity test to prove that I was a liar, and if I refuse I'll never see him again. I'm completely broken down and hurt over this. Our entire relationship he's been so sweet and rational. This is completely unlike him. If he'd just calmly asked for a paternity test to begin with I would have been hurt, but I guess I could understand the concerns. Our daughter looks nothing like him. But I don't think our relationship can survive this. Even then I proved to him I wasn't lying. Should I go through with the test or just cut my losses here and raise her alone? TLDR, we're white, daughter is black. I have a close black ancestor but so refuses to believe that's the reason, exploded at me, moved out and is demanding a paternity test or else I'll never see him again. I'm hurt and angry. Should I get the test or just tell him to fuck off and raise our daughter alone? Edit, I decided to get the test done. I'll update you all when I get the results. I'm still angry, but I guess I understand him a bit better now. Relevant comments. That's your decision to make. However, in your situation, I do the paternity test either way. If you decide to leave him, it's a nice big fuck you to him, and if you decide to stay, he gets his peace of mind. It's a win-win situation, really. I'd be hurt as fuck if my so accused me of cheating, even though I'd never shown any signs of it. However, how I'd react if I had a white GF, and the baby came out black. This is probably a 1 in a million type of situation, so I really can't say anything else about this. You're going to need a DNA test for child support, so you may as well get one now. What you choose to do about the relationship is up to you, but you're going to need the child support. OOP. Wow, I've been so caught up in this whole drama and taking care of baby I hadn't even thought about child support. You're right, I'll get the test done, if only to make sure baby gets the best life possible. People are surprisingly ignorant of how genetics work. Anyway, get the paternity test, just for his peace of mind, but understand that your relationship is irreparably broken and that he may sadly never show your daughter the sort of love or affection a father should show his child. This is a heartbreaking situation. I feel most for the baby, and you of course. But that little girl is going to face a lot of challenges in life looking like a black child to white parents. Talk to your more black-looking relatives about this and do research on how to talk to your daughter about her ancestry and prepare her for some of the more stupid/bigoted/ridiculous things people are bound to say. OOP. Yeah, I imagine things are gonna be hard for her, but at least she has a loving mom and a family who can relate to her. I just hope my boyfriend, my ex? I don't even know anymore, will come around and treat her with the respect he couldn't afford to give me. Hey guys, first of all I want to thank all the original commenters who helped me see my SO side and calmed me down enough to take the test. Well, the results are in and of course she's his. The whole process was absolutely ridiculous. I got an appointment with the doctor and texted so the time and location. He didn't answer but showed up, and the entire time he didn't say one word to me, and he didn't want to touch or even look at baby, and left as soon as they'd taken his sample, despite the doctor asking him to stay so we could go over a few things. Once he left I just broke down, and I must say the doctor was really nice, didn't judge me or accuse me of anything, just calmly went over how the test works, and told me babies are often born darker than they actually end up being. Baby was an absolute champ, barely fussed when they drew her blood. I got the results yesterday. I texted So the news and asked if he wanted to come over and open it with me. After almost half an hour he finally responded, yes, he'd like to come over. I'm thinking he either sent it while on his way or he's not staying very far away because he was here in about 15 minutes. Well, we opened it and read the positive test together. He turned white like a sheet and then just started bawling. I had to shush him because he was crying so loudly. And finally I got an explanation for his flip out. I mentioned in a comment on the old post that he was an only child to very old parents. His dad died a few years ago, and his mom lives alone a few hours' drive from us. I haven't met her often, but she seemed pleasant enough. Turns out she hates me. Absolutely hates my guts and always has. I had no idea about this. She's always acted kinda snobby, sure, but I had no idea she disliked me this much. When So called her to tell her the good news 8 months back when we discovered the pregnancy, she started crying. He never told me this. And as the months passed she continued being super negative about the whole thing, and saying she doubted the baby was actually his. I was below them. Poor people cheat because they're raised in a fucked up environment, WTF? And instead of talking to me about this, So kept silent while constantly doubting me more and more. Baby being black just put the final nail in the coffin that his mother was right and I was a good-for-nothing, cheating bitch. After telling me all this we just sat in silence for a while. Finally he asked if he could hold baby. I was still angry as hell, but decided that holding her was his right, he's her father after all. I went and got her from her crib, let him have her, and he started crying again, which scared her and she started crying too. So they were just sitting there bawling together for a while. Finally he stopped, handed her back and asked if he could come home. I was kinda taken aback. I didn't expect him to just flat out ask that already. I laid out everything I said in the last thread, how insanely disrespectful and childish she'd been, how he'd horribly broken my trust, hadn't talked to me about his mom's poisonous and ignorant comments, completely ignores me for 3 days not telling me where he is or if he's even alive, and then he just waltzes in and wants to start living here again. I told him if he ever wanted to have some inkling of a chance of mending the relationship we had to go to couples therapy ASAP. From now on he will answer my calls and messages unless there's an emergency, he will not be staying here for a while, and finally he needs tell his mom to back the fuck off. She will not be seeing baby until she apologizes to me in person. He immediately agreed, and finally told me how sorry he was for this whole fiasco. I'm not sure if I can forgive him for this, but I'm gonna try. We had an amazing life before this, and I hope that with a lot of work we can have it again. So also finally told me that he was staying in a hostel, but it's not very expensive so he can stay there for a while longer. Baby is doing great considering how many stress hormones she must have been drinking from me these last few days. Her hair is falling out, but the doctor told me it was normal and babies often lose most or all the hair they're born with. I'm hoping her new hair will grow in blonde, that would make her even cuter. Thank you all for your help on the last thread. My mom agreed with many of you and thinks I'm absolutely nuts for trying to work things out, but I think it'd be best for everyone if we at least give it a shot, especially baby. TLDR, I'm not a lying whore, his mom is a bitch, we're trying to work things out.